This is truly special. I've had opportunities to do poetry all over the country, up in Canada, in the UK, in West Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, Senegal. The closest I've been to Vaux is the Newark Public Library. So it's very special to be home, to be here with family, and to be here with friends. Some people I haven't seen since we were in high school. If someone had told me when I was in high school that I would have a degree in English, no less, and that I would have grown into a poet, I would not have believed that. In the 10th grade, I don't know if anyone here had Mr. Schuster as an English teacher. He gave me an F one marking period because I refused to get up in front of the class and do poetry.
Wow.
And when I brought that F home, and many of you knew my father.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Once a staff sergeant, always a staff sergeant. My father made me an offer I could refuse. And so, no more F's. And the next time they asked me to write poetry, I did so. But I'd like to start with one of the books. I was commissioned to write an epic poem for a Senegalese scholar by the name of Okantah Diop, as we say in this country, Okantah Diop. His most famous work is called The African Origins of Civilization, Myth or Reality. And I was asked to write an epic poem in the African tradition, not so much about him, but to tell our story as African people in America in such a way that Africans in Africa would know who we are. And I was stunned by the commission. And it took me 5 years. This was a 10-year project. It was translated into French. It was translated into Wolof. And I really didn't know how I was going to accomplish this until I was in Nigeria. I met a woman who was 102 years old.
Wow.
And it was in an Igbo village in southern Nigeria. And she wanted to know, you know how our elders do when they see you, and I can relate to this in Vaux. I saw a young man today. I said, your face looked familiar to me. I don't know you, but I think I know who you belong to. And so she was trying to place me in the village. And so they told her I was not from the village, that I was from America. And she asked, where is America and how did I get there? And she's speaking in Igbo, but I knew she was talking about me because she pointed. And so this was the moment when I had to explain myself to this African woman in such a way that would make sense. And that's when I knew what I had to do with this poem. So I want to begin with this poem. It's called Poem for the Living. To whom do I say it is because of our living dead that I speak? Hear their words, the words of our departed, the faces forgotten or never seen, the lives intuitively felt, the dreaming of our dead inhabiting our bodies, making them ache. Africa, what is Africa to me? The questions remain the same. County Cullen wanted to know why God would make a poet black, and bid him sing. Langston Hughes lamented Afro-American fragments. They knew the feeling. They bore the cross black poets have to bear. Singers and poets move amongst every people. Even in this America, too blind, arrogant to remember, to care. The poet's journey is personal when people have forgotten how to listen to the real power inside their own song. It began as inner feeling, as feeling before beyond words. It was there before I learned the meaning of my own blackness. Little boy times and innocent questions that altered expressions on adult faces. In Sunday school, I wanted to know if God was white like the pictures of his son, Jesus. Questions left unanswered, questions that would root my words deep in the soul soil of an age-old poetry. By that summer of '63, only Little League mattered. I did not know about deferred dreams. It was not so special white boys played on my team. I was too young and far removed to know about movements then. It was not for me to know we were black dreams born into flesh. I knew only that my mother and grandmothers fussed and fumed over little Smitty. I remembered nothing of stories, sleepless nights. My mother sheer-willed her man-child into the light of each new day. I remember my South Carolina Geechee grandfather who refused to speak the white man's tongue, who watched them Yankees and the real Sugar Ray, who chewed cigars and drank homemade wine from the Jersey urban earth. My grandfather dressed in his Bethsaida Baptist Church blue suit, hands folded, lying coffin still, looking more asleep than dead. I can never forget the look on my father's face when he watched television the day assassins gunned Malcolm down. I remember the power of that silence, that Wilbur Smith had been one on the black, blue-collar, middle-class block to talk to the brothers whose soul the Muhammad speaks. How could I know Malcolm's vision then? It would be years before I would know the man, magic man in Malcolm's voice. It was not for me to know the fire in my father's eyes would soon flame inside my own. It began as something deeply felt, a feeling, nothing the proverbial finger could be placed upon. It surfaced the first time that night a bullet blotted King from our sight. I knew something changed in me then. I remember being unable to mouth the Pledge of Allegiance that morning after. The white hollow ring resounding from empty words made me begin to see in a different light. Are you all right?